My name is Penny Leathers and I was 34 weeks pregnant when I finally learned what family meant to my mother, and that it didn't include me. That morning sunlight spilled through the kitchen window, glinting off a tray of pink and gold balloons and the shimmer of gift wrap. My husband, David, was humming to himself as he arranged mini quiches and deviled eggs. He'd even ironed his shirt, something he only did for weddings or major milestones. It was my baby shower day, and our little girl was kicking like she knew it too. Everything around me felt warm and good. Cinnamon pastries in the oven, laughter from friends decorating the living room, music playing softly in the background. But beneath it all, there was a quiet ache, the kind you don't name because hope makes you look foolish when you should already know better. I kept checking my phone every few minutes, pretending it was for RSVPs or vendor confirmations. In truth, I was waiting for my mother. Just a simple text. "We're on our way, sweetheart. Can't wait to see the baby things." Instead, at 10:42 a.m., my phone buzzed. "We won't make it. Your sister booked a surprise trip to Napa. You know how she gets when she wants something. She's real family. Don't guilt me." That last line, "she's real family," cut like a blade disguised as a sentence. Sharp, cold, deliberate. For years, I'd been the one holding everything together. The one who sent money when the bills were late, who paid for Clara's car repairs, who believed that loyalty might one day earn affection. But standing there surrounded by balloons and baby clothes, I realized that to my mother, I had never been a daughter. Just a resource. "Everything okay, Pen?" David asked from the kitchen. I forced a smile. "Yeah, just tired." It wasn't a lie. I was tired, just not in the way he thought. The shower started an hour later. It was beautiful. Joyful. My best friend's toast made everyone cry. David's mom, Margaret, brought an extra cake shaped like a baby bassinet. His dad recorded everything. Everyone on his side was there, warm, present, loving. Everyone except mine. When people asked where my parents were, I smiled and said, "Oh, they couldn't make it." That one line, polite, practiced, hid a lifetime of disappointment. Then in the middle of the laughter, my phone buzzed again. Fraud alert. Unusual activity detected. My stomach dropped. I slipped into the guest bathroom and opened my banking app. 3 attempted transactions. 3 different cards. Over $2,400 in total. The name beside each attempt made my heart stop. Carolyn Leathers. My mother. At first I thought it had to be a mistake, an old payment or an error. But the timestamps were minutes apart, all within the last hour. One of the cards was from the joint account David and I used for baby expenses. She hadn't just skipped my baby shower. She tried to rob me during it. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just went still. Cold. Clear. I scrolled through every account, every login, every card I'd ever shared, and one by one I changed passwords, revoked access, closed links. It felt like cutting invisible threads that had been strangling me for years. When I was done, I looked at myself in the mirror. Pale. Calm. Finally steady. "You chose wine over family," I whispered. "I'll choose peace over guilt." By the time the last guest left, my phone was lighting up again. 16 missed calls. 23 texts. 3 voicemails. Why are the cards not working? I just needed to move some money. "Don't be dramatic, Penny. I'm still your mother. You owe me after everything I've done for you." I deleted them all. Not out of anger, out of exhaustion. When I walked into the bedroom, David was sitting on the edge of the bed. He didn't even ask what happened. He just said softly, "You okay?" I nodded once. "Yeah, I'm done." He studied me for a moment, then said, "Then let's shut them down completely." So we did. That night, while I folded tiny onesies in the nursery, David sat beside me with his laptop. Together we went through every shared account, every emergency card, every forgotten link, and erased them all. When he closed the laptop, he rested his hand on my stomach. "She's not going to grow up thinking this is normal," he said. "She deserves better," I whispered. "So do you." An hour later, another voicemail came in. I didn't open it. I just stared at the screen and whispered, "You said there'd be consequences, Mom. You were right." By morning, the notifications were endless. 37 missed calls. 9 voicemails. 28 unread texts. Most were from my mother. A few from Clara. "Mom's just stressed, Penny. You're overreacting." It's just money. You act like we stole from a stranger. You're not the victim here. Grow up. That last one hit differently because it told me everything. Clara wasn't shocked. She knew. She'd always known. For years I'd been the invisible wallet behind their lives. The mysterious deposits that saved their mortgage. The quiet payments that cleared their bills. Mom called it helping family. I called it surviving. That morning I called my accountant. Mark, cancel all transfers to my parents' accounts. Freeze anything linked to them. He hesitated. Are you sure? I'm sure. It felt like cutting the final rope of a hot air balloon that had been anchored too long. By noon the fallout began. Mom's health insurance declined at CVS. Dad's medication was denied. Her thyroid pills too. A voicemail came 30 minutes later. Penny, what did you do? We're at the pharmacy. This is childish. You're putting your father's health at risk. I didn't answer. Then came the gas bill. The internet. The Amazon Prime account she used like her own. Each time something failed, another voicemail followed. Her voice swinging between guilt and fury. You're really going to do this to your parents? We're family. Family helps each other. That word again. Family. It used to mean obligation. Now it meant theft wrapped in entitlement. By evening I sat in the nursery surrounded by unopened gifts in silence. David knelt beside me. You okay? I don't think they ever loved me, I said quietly. They just managed me. He didn't argue. He just wrapped his arms around me. Then we stopped letting them manage us, he said. That night he opened his laptop again. One by one, he cut every lingering tie, old joint phone plans, savings accounts, her name on our insurance. Each click was quiet, deliberate, final. When he finished, he said, She's not just losing access, Penny. She's losing control. That's what she can't stand. He was right. By morning, her tone had changed. Penny, please. You don't understand what this is doing to us. Your father's been so depressed. We just need time. And then one final message. You think you're better than us now? Don't forget who raised you. You'll regret this. I didn't delete that one. I kept it, not as evidence but as a reminder. Days passed. The silence grew heavier, angrier. Until one afternoon while I was organizing baby clothes, my phone buzzed again. A message from Aunt June. Sweetheart, what's going on? I just saw your mom's post. Attached was a screenshot, a long dramatic paragraph my mother had written on a local community page, the kind where people sell furniture and ask for babysitters. The title, In Need of Support. She'd written that my father had lost his job, that they were in financial ruin, that someone had cut off access to the family's funds. She never said my name, but she didn't need to. Our estranged eldest daughter has unfortunately abandoned us during a difficult time. We're emotionally and financially broken. Any help is appreciated. Venmo. Support our family. I stared at the screen until the room blurred. When David came home, I handed him my phone. His jaw tightened. She's playing the sympathy card. Publicly, I whispered. That night I didn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes I saw that post, the comments, the pity emojis, the lies spreading like wildfire. But the worst part wasn't the betrayal. It was the familiarity. My whole life she'd rewritten stories. Turned herself into the victim and me into the problem. Only now the audience was bigger. When I told Margaret the next morning, she didn't hesitate. She looked at me and said quietly, She's not just selfish, Penny. She's dangerous. And that's when I realized this wasn't about money anymore. It was about control. And my mother wasn't done fighting for it. The next morning, while washing bottles in the sink, I heard a new message ping from Aunt June. Honey, I think your mom made a GoFundMe. Is this about you? My heart dropped. I clicked the link. There it was. Helpa. The post showed a photo of my parents sitting stiffly on their couch, like actors in a low-budget tragedy. My mother's hand was pressed dramatically against her chest. My father wore that weary, noble expression he saved for sympathy. The caption made my stomach twist. After losing our income and the support of our eldest daughter, we're facing eviction. We've tried everything, but we've been abandoned in our time of need. Any help, even $1, means the world. Below it were pictures of Clara dabbing fake tears. Their Venmo handles stamped across every frame. In less than 12 hours, they'd raised $180. 2 donations came from Dad's old co-workers, people still buying into the myth of the perfect Leathers family. I didn't know whether to scream, laugh, or cry. When I showed David, his jaw tightened. "She's weaponizing pity," he said flatly. "Classic Caroline." "Should I say something?" I asked. "Not yet." That afternoon his mother, Margaret, called. Her voice was calm, but there was a steel edge under it. "I've seen enough," she said. "We're having a family dinner tomorrow. Everyone's invited." "Everyone?" I repeated, uneasy. "Yes. Your parents too. Let's see what happens when lies have nowhere to hide." The next evening felt like walking into a storm disguised as a dinner party. Margaret had set the table beautifully, candles, polished silverware, everything looking too perfect for what was coming. David sat beside me, silent, alert. Then they arrived. My parents swept in like honored guests, smiles practiced, my mother draped in her favorite silk scarf, my father clutching a cheap bottle of wine as a peace offering. "Penny," Mom chirped, kissing the air near my cheek. "You look radiant." I couldn't respond. The tension buzzed under the small talk like static before lightning. Clara sat across from me, half hidden behind her phone. Dinner started politely, almost robotic, forks clinking, forced compliments. Then halfway through, Margaret rose from her chair, glass in hand. "I just want to thank everyone for coming," she said, her tone smooth, deliberate, the sound of someone about to end a performance. "It's time to clear the air. There's been confusion." Silence. My mother's smile faltered just slightly. "Caroline," Margaret said, "why did you try to withdraw $2,400 from Penny's account on the day of her baby shower? You could have heard a pin drop." Mom blinked twice, forced a laugh. "Oh, that was a misunderstanding. We've moved past that." David stood slowly. His voice was calm but sharp as broken glass. "No, we haven't. We moved past you." Dad's fork clattered onto his plate. Clara sank into her chair. "I don't know what she told you," Mom started, but Margaret cut her off. "We know exactly what she told us. And we know about the GoFundMe." The air turned electric. Mom's calm cracked. "That was to help with expenses. You have no idea what we're dealing with." "Maybe because you've been too busy inventing stories," Margaret shot back. Clara muttered, "This is ridiculous." Under her breath. My heart was pounding, but I didn't speak. I didn't have to. They were saying everything I'd been trying to for years. Then David said the words that broke it all open. "You lied. You stole. And when that stopped working, you begged strangers for sympathy. You're not victims, Caroline. You're manipulators." The room went silent. Dad tried to speak. "David, let's calm down." But even his voice wavered. Mom stood abruptly, clutching her purse. "This is absurd. We came to make peace, not to be ambushed." Margaret didn't flinch. "You came to rewrite history. Not this time." They left 10 minutes later, the front door slamming behind them. For a long time no one spoke. The only sound was the soft hum of the fridge and Clara's abandoned phone buzzing on the table. Margaret finally sighed and sat back down. "Well," she said, "that's done." But it wasn't. Not really. Because when people like my mother lose control, they don't reflect, they retaliate. 2 weeks later, on a gray Tuesday morning, my water broke. No chaos, no drama. Just the smell of toast and the quiet realization that it was time. David dropped the knife he was holding. "Now." I laughed through tears. "Yeah. Now." 6 hours later, under soft hospital lights, our daughter arrived, tiny, perfect, loud. When they placed her on my chest, all I could whisper was, "You're here." For the first time in months, peace didn't feel like silence. It felt like her heartbeat against mine. David cut the cord, smiling through tears. Maybe this is what real family feels like, I thought. Not guilt. Not duty. Just love. His parents came that evening, gentle, emotional, overjoyed. Margaret cried the moment she saw the baby. His dad brought a silver locket engraved with her initials. It was quiet, honest, real. My parents didn't call. Not a single text. Not even from Clara. 3 days later we came home. I was tired but floating on joy, until my phone buzzed. Clara Leathers posted a new photo. Curiosity got the best of me. There she was at a restaurant holding a champagne glass. The caption read, "Some people pop bottles, some pop out babies. Guess who's doing better?" My smile faded. David saw my face and asked softly, "What is it?" I handed him my phone. He stared, set it down. "She's desperate for attention. Don't feed it." Then came the knock. Late afternoon. I thought it was a neighbor with flowers, until I looked through the peephole. My parents. David's shoulders tensed. He opened the door a few inches. Mom smiled sweetly. "We just want to see her," she said. "You can't keep her from us." David stepped outside, closing the door behind him. "You can't be here. She's our granddaughter," Mom snapped. "You don't have the right. You lost that right when you tried to steal from my wife," he said evenly. Dad muttered, "Let's just talk, son." But David didn't move. I watched from the hallway, heart racing, not from fear but disbelief. Then Mom called out, sharp and familiar, "Penny, come out here. Don't hide behind him." The tone that used to make me small didn't reach me this time. David turned to me. "Do you want to handle this?" I shook my head. "No." He nodded once and closed the door. Through the wood, I heard her yell something muffled, then footsteps fading. An hour later, Clara posted again, a zoomed-in shot of our house. "Guess who won't let her parents meet their granddaughter?" The comments flooded in, sympathy, outrage, gossip. But slowly the tide shifted. Didn't they skip her baby shower for a vacation? Aren't these the same people who faked a GoFundMe? Maybe she has her reasons. Strangers began defending me. People saw through it at last. That night Margaret called. "Don't worry about the noise," she said. "Truth always catches up." She invited us for a small family dinner that weekend. Just her side to celebrate the baby properly. Saturday came. The air smelled like rain and roasted chicken. Laughter. Candles. Warmth. Halfway through dinner, David went still. I followed his gaze to the window. My parents stood in the driveway. Mom clutching a gift bag. Dad looking small beside her. David got up. Margaret followed. "Please," Mom said when the door opened. "We just want to be part of her life." Margaret's voice was calm but cold. "You had every chance, Caroline. You chose wine and money instead." Mom looked at me, at the baby in my arms, and for the first time I saw it. Not guilt. Not love. Just the horror of realizing she'd lost her grip on me. They left without another word. That night, as I rocked my daughter to sleep, I looked around our quiet home, the one I built, and finally understood what peace really sounds like.